The Seattle Seahawks, both of their wins this year come by virtue of shutouts. And the World War II veteran Houston Riley, who was on the first landing at Omaha Beach on D-Day, will hoist the 12th man flag. There is Jim Schwartz, who says you can only measure progress by victories. Very pragmatic about this, in his first season as Lions head coach after many years as the defensive coordinator at Tennessee. And Jim Mora, who called his team out right after the game in Dallas last week, said he would make some roster changes. He did. Edgerrin James was released. That was the biggest news. So this is a focused Seahawk team, as Charles indicated, and we're set to go. Derek Williams, the rookie from Penn State, will be back to return the kick. The Seahawks won the toss and they deferred, so they'll get the ball in the second half. Orlando Mare gets the game underway, and Williams returning from the end zone for the Lions. Loses the ball. Fumble. And they will unscramble the pile. Lions coming in 0-3 on the road. John Parry, who is the referee, indicates the fumble was recovered by the Lions.
Look at number 52, D.D. Lewis, backup linebacker, pops the ball free. The Lions fortunate to come up with it. Lewis hustling, knocks it free from the return man, Derek Williams.
And I think Williams, Charles, did recover his own fumble after that scrum. So we're set to go. Ball at the 24-yard line. So a close call on the opening kickoff for the Lions. Matthew Stafford, the quarterback, and the handoff to Kevin Smith. And there'll be a loss on the play. Brandon Mebane, the defensive tackle, and a loss of 1 on the first play from scrimmage. Let's take a look at the Lions offense, who have managed to score a total of only 10 points in the last 2 games. And you pointed out the full complement of their main weapons coming into this game.
Yeah, so Calvin Johnson's presence should help open up Detroit's run game. Terrell Smith will start at fullback today for the injured Jerome Felton.
Second down and 11. Play action. Stafford has time and goes underneath to Kevin Smith. And Smith is tackled at the 29-yard line after picking up 6 yards by Leroy Hill. Taking a look now at the Seahawks defensive unit. Changes this week. Patrick Kearney shifts over to where Lawrence Jackson was. And of course, David Hawthorne coming off a big game against Dallas in the losing cause.
And former Pro Bowl cornerback Marcus Trufant gets his second start of the season. And Josh Wilson is an aggressive complement at the other corner.
Third down and 6. There's Trufant, and Maurice Morris, who played 7 years with the Seahawks, now is in the game at tailback. Fake to him, and the quick pass out to Casey Fitzsimmons. And Fitzsimmons appears to have enough for a first down out to the 35.
Got to go bunch formation to start, and watch Fitzsimmons. He comes back inside and just waits for the screen to get set up. Look at the lineman he gets, kicking out and creating the hole for him to run through and pick up the first down. Watch how the linemen get out fast and lead the way.
Lions' last road win was back in 07 in Chicago, and they have a first down at the 35. And the end around to Aaron Brown, the rookie running back, and Brown will get the first down as the Lions pulling out all stops early, getting to the 46, a gain of 12 yards, with Wilson and Tapp finally bringing down Brown.
See, that's Aaron Brown, number 21, coming back against the grain for the end around play. Normally he's lined up in a spot where a wide receiver would be lined up, but they wanted Brown to touch the ball with his quickness. They run what you call a people play, Dick. Put the guy in the spot and call the play directly for him.
Calvin Johnson lining up to the bottom of your screen. First down. Stafford up the middle, and he completes it to the tight end, rookie Brandon Pettigrew. And Pettigrew picking up about 5 or 6 yards. The tackle made by Aaron Curry, the rookie. So you have Stafford, who was the #1 pick in the draft, and Curry, who was 4th overall, opposing each other today.
They meet again. And Matthew Stafford has come out today and looks very comfortable early. You keep hearing about rookie quarterbacks and the setbacks that they have along the way. This is a young man whose biggest setback has been an injury, not necessarily his play.
Starting for the 2nd week after missing a pair of games with the knee injury. 2nd down and 4. Aaron Brown lining up. They get the play off in time, and here comes the pressure. And it's Aaron Curry coming in strong, and an incomplete pass intended for Aaron Brown. And that will bring up 3rd down, and a penalty flag is thrown at midfield.
Ineligible receiver downfield, number 77. Offense, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
It was the right tackle, Gosder Sherilis. So they'll repeat the down. So Aaron Curry, 4th overall pick, and David Hawthorne, and you can see changes in the lineup at linebacker, especially with Lofa Tatupu out for the year.
Exactly right.
2nd down and 9. In motion is Fitzsimmons. Lines up in the backfield, and the handoff to Kevin Smith. And Smith driving his way just shy of midfield, where Mebane makes the tackle. And a gain of about 2.5 yards. So let's talk about those 3 weapons who are in the lineup today for the Lions, Charles.
And getting Calvin Johnson back at wide receiver is huge for them, because every defense has to react to Calvin Johnson's presence. Whether he's lined up wide, inside, he can do everything. So you usually have a corner lined up against him and someone over the top, usually double teaming him, which should help the running back, Kevin Smith, find better holes to run through. And of course, the quarterback, Matthew Stafford, has his best target on the field.
Johnson inactive the last 2 games with a sprained knee. It'll be 3rd down and 6. This is where the 12th man becomes important, and the quick pass, and it is caught by Calvin Johnson, and a 1st down into Seahawk territory to the 37, a 13-yard pickup.
I love the idea of them getting Calvin Johnson involved so early. You have to. I mean, he's a Pro Bowl guy. Look at the numbers right there. 25-yard receptions. He has 20 over the last 2 years. That's 2nd in the NFL. And as you just pointed out, he's missed 2 ball games recently.
And he's averaged 100 or more yards in the last 8 road games. So he is not deterred by playing on the road. Maurice Morris, the setback, and a 1st down Detroit. And the fake handoff, and the pass off the hands of Fitzsimmons, incomplete, bringing up 2nd and 10.
See the one throw there by Matthew Stafford. The one thing that they're still working on with him is accuracy. Watch where this ball is thrown. See, he's got to go to the outside part of the receiver. Instead, he throws it to the inside, turns him around, and makes it a very difficult attempt to catch the football. That will smooth out as he continues to mature.
Patrick Kearney leaves the game, and Corey Redding, who was traded for Julian Peterson. 2nd down and 10, and play action, and here comes the pressure, and no chance. Jordan Babineau leading the way, and Matthew Stafford takes a big loss back to the 47-yard line. 9 yards loss thanks to the good pressure by the Seahawks.
One of the reasons this works is that the Lions decided to go play action, and that allows Babineau to come in late. Stafford has his back to him, doesn't pick him up until he's already in the backfield, creating the pressure. Big play Babs shows up for Seattle.
3rd down and 20. Stafford going in the air, and it's caught, and it'll be a 1st down or close to it as Brandon Pettigrew makes the tackle, and we'll see where they spot the ball. It'll be very close, and they may be shy by a yard. They're inside the 30-yard line after an 18-yard pickup.
Watch, this is what Calvin Johnson does. He's got the corner short, and he's got a safety who's eyeing him the whole way, which opens up things in the middle of the field.
And Kevin Smith with a flag down runs for the 1st down for the Lions on the hurry up But a penalty flag down, and three of them, in fact, in the defensive backfield of the Seahawks.
"12 men on the defense. 5-yard penalty."
And I guess enough officials saw it, Charles.
Yeah, when you have 3 flags down, it's a pretty good indicator that everyone caught it.
Jim Schwartz in his first season, and of course it is very difficult when they have known nothing but losing in Detroit. They have dropped 22 of their last 23 games in the regular season. In fact, 29 of their last 31 since November of '07. And you just have to bite your tongue, grind it out, and just hope you make progress and get a couple of wins along the way. Easier said than done. Aaron Brown in the backfield. First down and 10, and the pitch going to Aaron Brown. And the rookie from TCU is slowed up first by Josh Wilson, and then Leroy Hill comes in to make the play, and a pickup of 3 for Brown.
Like what I'm seeing early from Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator of the Lions. Numerous formations, different sets, different personnel, all still trying to accomplish the same goal. Mixing and matching the play calls. Runs, passes, trying to keep Seattle off balance.
And right now in a good mood.
As well he should be with the way they're moving the football.
Second down and 7, and Kevin Smith back in at running back. That pass is caught by Fitzsimmons. So Casey Fitzsimmons figuring in the offense, at least on this opening drive, and it's been a solid one for the Lions. Aaron Curry missed the tackle, and a gain of 6 yards on the play, bringing up 3rd down and about 1.
The Lions spent a lot of time in preseason working on running the football against not just 8-man fronts, but 9-man fronts. They wanted to develop that toughness and the idea that, hey, we have to run it even when they think we're going to run it. This could be one of those times.
And they do run it. Kevin Smith knocked back and won't make it. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all. You had the right play call, and good pressure from the secondary by Deion Grant. And so it'll be 4th down, and so they try to run it on 3rd and 1, and now we'll try the field goal.
They did run against a loaded box, but look at number 24, Deion Grant, getting involved. Not only does he submarine through Steven Peterman, the offensive guard, that helps stack up everything for the rest of the defense to get there. Excellent play by the safety.
So Jason Hanson will attempt a 34-yard field goal. He's 9 of 10 for the year. And Hanson from Spokane, Washington, no good. So Jason Hanson, who attended Washington State from Spokane, misses the field goal. And it was an impressive Lion drive that chewed up nearly 8.5 minutes, 61 yards in all, and they come away with nothing. So here's Matt Hasselbeck and the Seahawks first down on their 24-yard line. Hasselbeck will throw on first down, and the pass is intercepted by Louis Delmas, and Delmas brings it inside the 5-yard line. So the Lions respond on defense, and a 29-yard return by Delmas, and the tackle made by Hasselbeck, and the Lions will have 1st and goal.
One thing Jim Schwartz has already brought to this team, a much better mental toughness. They miss a field goal, so they come right back on defense. No heads to hanging, no one shuts down. Delmas reads the eyes of Matt Hasselbeck, drops into the short zone, and brings it back inside the 5-yard line on the pick.
So a big interception, and Delmas, 2nd-round pick out of Western Michigan, and there's the frustration. And after not throwing an interception last week against the Cowboys, Hasselbeck throws one there, and the defense for Seattle has to come on the field again. 1st and goal at the 2. And here is Kevin Smith, who loses the ball. Still a scramble. And the penalty flag is there. Penalty flag is down, and Corey Redding, the ex-Lion, forced the fumble for Kevin Smith.
Prior to the snap, there is no play. False start. Number 84. Offense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
And the Lions are lucky there as Brandon Pettigrew was moving.
Never is a team happier about a guy making an offensive error than the Lions are right now. Brandon Pettigrew on the motion came inside and jumped up before the snap count, and that led to the penalty.
What a strange start we've had here in this first quarter. 61-yard drive, and Hansen, normally automatic, misses the field goal, then an interception, and then a false start saves a turnover. But it'll be first and goal now from the 7. Stafford drills it, and it's caught for the touchdown. And Pettigrew, the 20th overall pick from Oklahoma State, puts the Lions in front. A 7-yard touchdown pass from Matthew Stafford.
How about the presence of the young quarterback? Able to make sure everyone, of course, knows where Calvin Johnson's going to be on every play. That's how he affects a defense. Tilts the field, and then they're able to go back inside to Brandon Pettigrew.
And they can also run better when they have the likes of Calvin Johnson on the field. So Pettigrew, his first NFL touchdown. And now Jason Hansen on the field and quieting this crowd here in Seattle. Hansen's kick is perfect. The interception by Delmas sets up a Detroit score, and their first 2 picks in the draft, Matthew Stafford and Brandon Pettigrew, combined to give the Lions the lead. There they are on the sidelines, 7-0 the score, and the Seahawks will get the ball as Jason Hansen gets set to kick off. Lewis Rankin is back along with Justin Forsett. Rankin inactive last week after being brought up from the practice squad, and the ball will bounce at the 10, picked up by Rankin. And the Seahawks with their second possession of the game. The first was only 1 before the interception. Bushman-Zada lining up to the top, and Matt Hasselbeck, his 4th game back after returning from broken ribs, which still limit him from the 19-yard line. Hasselbeck with a pump and then checks down to Justin Griffith, and Griffith loses the ball, and the Lions recover. Unbelievable that in the 2 offensive plays from scrimmage run by the Seahawks, an interception and now a fumble as Griffith coughs it up, and it's recovered by Co Simpson.
It's a good hit, but really what stripped it was Julian Peterson, number 59, from the backside on the tackle, knocks the ball free. Good hit on the front side by Larry. It looked like Larry Foote, 55, but Peterson on the backside stripped it. Co Simpson with the pickup of the fumble. And right now, Dick, think about Calvin Johnson. Think about a quick strike. Go right to him.
Why not? And Peterson, who was traded for Corey Redding after 3 years with the Seahawks. It'll be a first down from the 29 of Seattle. And there is Calvin Johnson lined up on the right. And a false start call against the Lions, 5 yards.
False start, number 66. Offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
So that's the right guard, Stephen Peterman. Well, the 12th man didn't really hurt Stafford when he was right at the goal line the first time.
Second false start of the game for the Lions.
It'll be first and 15 now. On the delay, Maurice Morris has a bit of running room, and he is upended by Marcus Trufant, who returned last week after being on the physically unable to perform list. Came in as a nickel back and had 3 pass interference penalties in that game, and getting his first start.
Had to shake the rust off, and that's what happened last week. A couple of calls questionable as the Seahawks and other people might have seen it, but still they went against him. All led to Dallas touchdowns. I think he'll be much more effective today.
Back to the original line of scrimmage, making it 2nd and 10. Fake to Morris, going out as a receiver, and the pass Little beyond him as Hawthorne covers him, so it'll be 3rd and long coming up for Detroit.
Well covered by David Hawthorne from the linebacker position. He had the back on the route, followed him to the flat, and was stride for stride with him. He's really stepped in and played well in the absence of Lofa Tatupu, their Pro Bowl middle linebacker.
So now the Lions at 3rd down and 10. And again, Calvin Johnson lining up to the right. And Trufant is eyeing him. 3-man rush. And now they send a linebacker, plenty of time, and the pass into the end zone, and the catch is made, and it's a touchdown. Brian Johnson, covered by Ken Lucas, the nickelback this week, and a great protection for the Lions. A perfect pass and catch, and the Lions now take another lead, 13-0.
See, Ken Lucas is in good shape, and then Brian Johnson really one-hands it and hauls it in. It's almost as if Ken Lucas thought that maybe they were in the back of the end zone and that he was running out of real estate, and instead Brian Johnson hand fights him, gets the upfield arm up, and hauls in the touchdown.
Lions lead 14-0. That's what they have off of turnovers created by Julian Peterson and thrown by Stafford on the bottom, and a super catch by Brian Johnson. Played with the 49ers last year. And look at that placid look by Jim Mora, whose offense has run 2 plays, and they've turned it over on each one. Hanson kicking off. And on the run, it'll be Forsett. Justin Forsett. And he gets it out to about the 28-yard line. A quick scoring drive, 47 seconds, 3 plays, 29 yards. And now the Seahawks will start from the 29. Hasselbeck handing off to Julius Jones. And Jones is knocked back, a loss by Ernie Sims, who played an outstanding game last week. The last game at home for the Seahawks, they were also behind 14-0 to Arizona. Now there's the first 2 plays before the loss of 1 for Jones, and eventually Arizona won the game 27-3. Again, they go to Julius Jones, and Julius Jones is tackled in the backfield, and this time by Larry Foote, and the former Steeler who wanted to come back and play in his hometown of Detroit.
A University of Michigan grad, Detroit Pershing High, a doughboy, wanted to be back in Detroit, and he's leading their defense. Did you notice how quickly Seattle went on 2nd down, trying to change the tempo, trying to mix things up? So far, Detroit's defense is handling them. And
now Justin Forsett lines up wide to the right on 3rd down and 12. He's at the top. And Hasselbeck getting good protection and has to check down, and it's Forsett with the catch, and he is going to work his way close to the 1st down. The preliminary indication is he may be a half a yard shy. We'll see where they spot the ball. They needed 12 yards. They spotted at the 39-yard line.
Great effort by Justin Forsett, because he caught the ball about 10 yards shy of the 1st down marker. So even to get it close was a nice job by him. I think they're a little short.
I think you're right, and it's about a foot.
See, and the crowd exhorting them to go for it, but I don't think you're in a desperate situation just yet. It's 14-0. You're at home with your crowd involved. I think I want to punt the ball and change field position. The whole 1st quarter has been played in Seattle's end of the field.
It's up to these two. The votes of those 2 fans will determine to Jim Mora whether he should go for it. You know, fans always want you to go for it. And
he's kept his offense out there.
Yes, they're going for it. All right.
I would punt the ball away myself.
5 for 7 this year, so they've had success on 4th down. The ball right now on the 38. And they'll have 2 tight ends as John Owens joins John Carlson. And the handoff is to Jones. And they didn't make it, and it looks like the Lions held. The Detroit Lions stopped Julius Jones on 4th down and 1. And you know what? I have to go along, not because it's a second guess, but it's 14-0 early against a team that's won 1 game, and you roll the dice early, and it really backfired on the Seahawks.
You're almost giving in, and look at the great penetration up front by the defensive line of the Detroit Lions. Jason Hunter, number 97, the first guy into Seattle's backfield.
Sammy Hill was also in there, so the Lions take over on the 38, leading 14-0. 2 turnovers, and they fail to get it on 4th and 1. And there's the pass out to Casey Fitzsimmons, and Fitzsimmons going out of bounds at the 30-yard line gets 8 yards. And here it's 2nd down and 2 as we wind close to 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Lions up and threatening again. Play fake. And the pass incomplete. And the closest to the ball was the tight end Will Heller as Stafford took a shot.
And if Corey Redding does not put pressure on Matthew Stafford, that play has a chance of breaking big. It's total misdirection, sending Flo one way, trying to sneak the tight end back against Flo, against the grain, out into the opposite flat. If Redding's not there, I think that play breaks big for Detroit.
So now it's 3rd and 2. And the pitch is to Kevin Smith. He's got blockers and a 1st down as he dives inside the 25. They'll mark it just about at that point. And a pickup of 6 yards. And so with under 3 minutes to go, the Lions with a 1st down at the 24.
Interesting to me that Jim Moore made the decision to go for it where he did. It's almost as if they feel that sense of desperation even more so than the Lions in this stage. You know, it's almost like they gave in to the Lions' will at that point of the game.
And we'll see if the Lions can take advantage of it. Calvin Johnson going in motion to the slot. On 1st down, good protection here, and the pass overthrown intended for Johnson. And good coverage by Trufant downfield.
Nice coverage by Marcus Trufant, but notice that Matthew Stafford is going to throw the ball against good coverage anyway. Why? Because he counts on Calvin Johnson's big frame and ability to go up and get the football. And he likes any 50-50 ball. He figures 50-50, the odds tilt in his favor to 90-10 because it's Calvin Johnson.
2nd down and 10. And the late handoff to Smith, giving ground. And Smith will be hit hard by Kelly Jennings as he goes out of bounds. And really no gain on the play. So it'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Lions, already in field goal range, although Jason Hansen did miss a 34-yarder early on.
And this is an opportunity now for Seattle's defense to not give in to the gamble that backfired. If they can hold them to at least a field goal attempt, they'll feel much better about things.
See what Gus Bradley, the defensive coordinator, has in mind here. And the quick pass to Aaron Brown, loses his footing and finally is put down. And a flag is thrown down, hard hit by Jordan Babineau, and the penalty flag right there was thrown.
Flag was thrown in the secondary behind the play.
Against the Lions.
Illegal block in the back. Number 51, offense. 10-yard penalty, 3rd down.
So Dominic Raiola, the center, who last week came to the aid of Matthew Stafford when the fans got a little unruly supporting his quarterback. Had enough of that in the days of Joey Harrington. Stafford's our guy, and of course well appreciated by the Lions and by Stafford, but the penalty will set the ball back, and they'll mark it at the 34.
Tells you the measure of respect Matthew Stafford has already built up with his football team.
3rd and 20. If they don't get much, it would be a long field goal attempt for Hansen.
Johnson in the slot now.
3rd down and 20, and they go underneath, and Maurice Morris with the catch and gets to the 22-yard line, so it'll be way short of the first down. They got 11 on that play as Darryl Tapp brings down his former teammate, so Hansen will come on to try the field goal and add to Detroit's lead.
And remember, Detroit's last game against the Rams, they were fooled by a fake field goal that cost them big. If I'm Seattle right here, I'm planning on pretty much saying, hey, you kick it, I'm not giving up anything else.
41-yard field goal attempt here. And Jason Hansen puts his leg to it, and this kick is good. And the Lions have opened up a 17-0 lead in the first quarter against the Seattle Seahawks. Turnovers on the first 2 plays from scrimmage, and then a failure on 4th and 1, and the Lions getting points in every instance. What a surprising, to say the least, start to this game.
And this was a Seattle team. You made the point earlier about Jim Mora calling out his team after the game, saying changes would be made. It's almost as if he took them to DEFCON 5 this week and wanted to see how they would respond. They might have been a little uptight to start this game. You know, everyone I talked to before the game, hey, we're ready. We're ready. This is our time. Maybe a little bit too charged up. Let's see if they can settle down and start playing some effective football. 7
plays, 15 yards to set up the field goal for Hansen, who will be kicking off, and back deep, Louis Rankin and Justin Forsett. Heading over toward Rankin, who makes the play on the line drive kick at the 11-yard line. And Rankin picks up a few extra yards after getting hit, shows his speed, brings it out to the 40-yard line, where Anthony Henry brings him down after a gain of 29. So there is Rankin, who played a couple of games with Oakland, and Greg Knapp, the offensive coordinator of the Seahawks, saw him there when he was with Oakland last year, liked what he saw.
And Rankin is also a former University of Washington Husky, and his #1 forte, speed. That's exactly why they put him back there to return kicks.
So it'll be a first down at the 40. Good field position as Houshmandzadeh goes in motion. And Hasselbeck goes to Houshmandzadeh. And right there, and smelling that one out perfectly, was Philip Buchanan, the veteran cornerback. And maybe a yard, maybe no gain, and that may be the last play of this first quarter. Running off the field and trying to get the play off. And they do with 6 seconds on the clock, and the pass is caught by Deion Branch. And Branch nearly got a first down. Good play made by Co Simpson to prevent the first down as time runs out.
This is why they teach offensive linemen to follow the ball downfield once it's released. See, after the ball is released downfield, they teach offensive linemen run downfield after it in case they need you for blocks. Max Unger did, trailed the play, and picked up the fumble.
On first down, pressure on Hasselbeck. Jones picking up 2 yards on first down.
Watch Unger, he's right in the middle, okay? He pass protects, and now he's going to trail the play. See, here he comes. He sees the ball now because they teach offensive linemen. Ball's gone, get downfield. You might be needed for a block to help someone.
Kevin Hobbs caused the fumble with his sharp hit on Houshmandzadeh, so it's 2nd down and 8 now. And Hasselbeck in the pocket completes to Houshmandzadeh, and he may have the first down. Forward progress as Philip Buchanan was right with him for the hit. And it will be another Seahawk first down just inside the Lion 40. The Seahawks have been outscored 31-0 in their last 2 home games in the first quarter, committing 3 turnovers in the process. Trying to fight back here. Fake to Julius Jones, and open is the fullback Justin Griffith. He'll get the first down. Griffith, who had a touchdown against the Cowboys last week, picks up 11 yards, a first down to the 29.
Now we're starting to see what an experienced quarterback does for you in the pocket. What Matt Hasselbeck has recognized is that Detroit is getting plenty of pressure on him early in the ball game. So he's immediately getting the ball out of his hands, dumping it to the short check down routes, and letting them run with the football.
And I'm curious as to where he is limited with the recovery of the broken ribs and the flak jacket. Fakes the handoff, going through the air again, and this pass caught by Jones. And Jones trying to get by William James, and he can't do it, but picks up healthy yardage to the 22-yard line, a 6-yard pickup.
And I believe he's getting better, Dick, because that throw required so much faking action and then throwing back across field a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure he's able to complete this throw because of the limitation from the pain in his ribs. On this one, he gets it out there just fine to Julius Jones.
2nd and 4 early in the second quarter. Forsett lining up in the backfield. And it's Justin Forsett finds an opening and driving inside the 10-yard line. An impressive run and good blocking up front for Justin Forsett, who gets 14 yards before Louis Delmas brings him down. 1st and goal at the 9.
Nice job at the point of attack by the offensive line, but after that, this is all Justin Forsett. Look at the vision and the foot, and a nice fake on Co Simpson, and then he drags the tackler for additional yardage. See right there, good job. Chris Spencer, 65 in the middle, knocking aside the Detroit defensive front.
Forsett remains in the game, 1st and goal. They fake to him. Hasselbeck then flips to Forsett. And Forsett working his way inside the 5, close to the 3-yard line, where Ernie Sims makes the tackle, and a 5-yard pickup on the 10th play of the drive.
The pressure from the Detroit front is forcing Matt Hasselbeck to come to his check down routes. Get the pressure up front, good coverage on the backside, but now he's coming to the check down routes, and those have been effective on this drive.
2nd and goal from the 3. Julius Jones bounces off a defender and scores for Seattle. And the Seahawks are back in the game, even after the gamble on 4th and 1 that didn't work. And now it's 17-6, and Mare will try to make it a 10-point game. And the 3rd rushing touchdown of the year, 3-yard rush. And the extra point by Mare is good, and it's 17-7. And there's the guy, Max Unger, who saved the day in the scoring drive. And the good field position setting up the Seahawks, as Hasselbeck was 8 for 8, throwing to 6 different receivers in that drive alone. So now the Lions will get the ball, as Orlando Mare, after the wind had blown the ball off the tee, will get it back. Matthew Stafford, who already has a touchdown pass to Brian Johnson. And another one to Brandon Pettigrew, the rookie tight end. Short kick, and on the run, Derek Williams for the Lions. And he'll have a pretty good return, and he is put down hard, and a flag goes down. And let's see whether we will have a personal foul call against the Seahawks. That was Lance Laurie.
It's just not a smart play.
Pretty impressive numbers for Matthew Stafford so far, and maybe more important, this is the 4th time the Lions are starting a drive in Seahawk territory. First down at the Seattle 47. And the screen pass to the tight end Brandon Pettigrew, and that's his 4th catch of the game. And he gets 7 yards out of it to the 41.
One of the Lions' goals coming into this game was to continue to progress the development of Brandon Pettigrew. You know, he almost is hitting a rookie wall coming into this one. You know, you think about a college season, 12 games, add the preseason and the regular season here. You played a college season. He looks a lot fresher and quicker this week than he did last.
2nd and 3. The slant, first down to Brian Johnson, who caught the touchdown pass, one of the two. And a first down to the 34, gain of 6 on the play. Brian Johnson, who played 5 years with the Cardinals before moving on to the 49ers last year. So he moves from the NFC West to the NFC North.
Receivers involved early in this game. Didn't have a catch until the 3rd quarter against the Rams.
First down. Again, pressure coming in and going deep for Calvin Johnson. And Johnson went out of bounds before he came in. And covered by Marcus Trufant. He went out and could not be the first man to touch the ball coming in, and even his left foot is on the line.
See, and that's why the hat is thrown on the sideline. See, there's the official. Keith Washington all over it. You described it, Dick. He was already out of bounds, coming back in to make the catch. The hat thrown on the sideline to signify he was out of bounds and ended up being the first guy to touch the ball coming back in.
And you know, they threw the hat as soon as he went out of bounds, as the ball was heading his way, but I think he was out of bounds when he made the catch. So back we go to the 34, 2nd down and 10. And off to Kevin Smith. And the Seahawks are there, gain of 2, and it'll be 3rd down and 8 as we get close to 9 minutes to go in the second. David Hawthorne making the play. Seahawks trying to win at home, and they've always been strong here, but they lost on the 18th to the Cardinals 27-3 in a division game. That really hurt. So already 7 different Lions have caught passes from Matthew Stafford. 3rd and 9. Stepping up is Stafford, and it's intercepted by David Hawthorne. And the Seahawks get it back. And the first turnover of the game by the Lions. Hawthorne's 2nd interception of the year.
Take a look at how Matthew Stafford eyeballs Brandon Pettigrew, his tight end, and a great job by David Hawthorne, the middle linebacker, who has that coverage. Watch Hawthorne. He's going to read it the whole way, and then he undercuts the route and comes underneath and picks off the pass. Terrific job by David Hawthorne in coverage.
Coming into the game, the Seahawks had only 3 interceptions, fewest in the league. Now they have 4 and the ball, starting from the 27. And Hasselbeck on the run completes the pass to the 40 to Nate Burleson. First catch of the game for Burleson. So after throwing that interception, which cost Hasselbeck on the first play from scrimmage, he has now completed 11 in a row.
And that sure looked like something from Don Coryell's offense as Seattle moves it along quickly.
Gain of 13 on that play. They're up to the 40 are the Seahawks. Here's Julius Jones, who scored a touchdown, and Jones picking up about 3 yards. Sammy Hill, a rookie from Stillman College.
In Tuscaloosa, Alabama, as we look at Hasselbeck, his first pass interception, makes your point. 11 for 11, 77 yards since then. And Seattle going at varying tempos. Quickly one play, next play they go back and huddle up at a normal tempo.
And Hill, who's celebrating his 23rd birthday, goes out of the game. It's 2nd down and 7, and here's Julius Jones trying to go outside, and he is met head on by William James. A couple of hard hits by the veteran cornerback, and a pickup of 3 for Jones out to the 46.
That was well played by the Detroit defensive line. Cliff Averill And then William James at the corner, 41. Really well played because Averill extended the play, strung it out, and James came up and made the tackle.
We're seeing a lot of defensive linemen shifted in and out. Grady Jackson, inactive, coach's decision today. Joe Cohen has seen a lot of action, number 60. We have a 3rd and 4 here. And Hasselbeck trying to get away from the rush. He does, and he flips the pass to John Carlson, who has a first down into Detroit territory at the 43, and that is Carlson's first catch of the game, and a gain of 11.
Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator for the Lions, is renowned for what? Pressure. Loves to blitz. Look at what he shows. Everyone up, and then he backs off, ends up rushing 4. When they don't get to Hasselbeck, he's able to move around in the pocket, keep his eyes downfield, and find John Carlson underneath.
Seahawks on the Lions 43. And the quick pass to Burleson on the wide receiver screen, and Buchanan with help wrestles him down, and they get about almost 8 yards on that play. Kevin Hobbs joining in, but it took a bunch of Lions on that play.
You notice what momentum does for a team? You notice that when the momentum shifts to your side and you're feeling good about yourself, that a 3-yard play becomes a 6 or 7-yard play because you're not willing to go down. Nate Burleson exemplified it on that play.
And Matt Hasselbeck now has completed more passes than any other quarterback in Seahawk history. And facing 2nd down and 2. Play action. And Hasselbeck flips it out to Julius Jones. Jones gets the first down inside the 30-yard line. And wrestled down by Julian Peterson, but not before he gets to the 25 and gets 10 more yards.
Oh, Julius, how about the move? Shakes Kevin Hobbs, breaks him down, and cuts inside for the first down.
There
Look at
it
that.
is.
Great shake inside, gets upfield.
First down at the 25 with under 5 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Hasselbeck down the middle, trying to get it to Houshmandzadeh, and the flag comes down, and Delmas covering him. And Houshmandzadeh claiming he was held. And if this goes against the Lions, and apparently it will give the Seahawks another first down.
26, grabbing the receiver while the ball is in the air. Spot foul, automatic, first down.
Louis Delmas, the rookie safety, trying to run with TJ Houshmandzadeh, but he's got a hold of his upfield arm. And Houshmandzadeh gesturing this week, gesturing positively for his team. Not a negative because of an incompletion.
First down, and here is Julius Jones, and a great play made by Delmas, who is guilty of the pass interference and then storms in from the secondary, and a loss of 3 on the play.
And this is what coaches love to see from young players. This is Delmas coming from deep in the secondary, diagnoses the play, and gets upfield and makes a great tackle in the backfield against Julius Jones. Pass interference one play. Does he hang his head? No. Comes right back and makes a good play.
And it'll be a loss of 5 yards, so 2nd down and 15 from the 18 now. And here's Hasselbeck, and this time he checks down to Griffith. And the fullback is stopped at the 15-yard line, picking up 3 more yards. So 15 straight completions by Matt Hasselbeck, as the Seahawks were trailing 17-0 at the end of the first quarter and fighting back. So look at those numbers. Great accuracy, and a lot of them have been checkdowns by both quarterbacks today. 3rd down and 12.
False start, number 77, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Left tackle Damian McIntosh, and by the way, Sean Locklear, who suffered a sprained ankle in the 2nd week against the 49ers and had been out, is active and would be backing up McIntosh, who was the 4th left tackle to play for the Seahawks this year. And of course, last week, Walter Jones, the great one, was put on IR. Now 3rd and 12. We'll make it 3rd down and 16. Hasselbeck going to the end zone. And Burleson unable to make the catch, but a flag goes down. And let's see if there was a push-off on the case of Burleson.
I think that's exactly what it's going to be, is Nate Burleson pushing the defender in the back.
Pass interference, offense, number 81. That penalty's been declined. Result of the play, 4th down.
They got that one right as he pushes Philip Buchanan in the back, trying to get to the football, and that'll bring it back against Seattle.
And now the Seahawks will have to attempt to settle for a field goal. Olindo Mare has missed just 2 this year. This will be a 37-yarder.
Every now and then, the have-nots will ball their fist up and take a swing, won't they?
So here's a scoring drive, and Hasselbeck had completed 15 in a row before the incompletion. And here is Derek Williams returning for the Lions. And down at the 27 by Deion Grant. Talking about the early games, talking about the Bucs, their first win this season, wearing the throwback orange, beating the Packers at home 38-28. Michael Turner had 166 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Falcons, and Kurt Warner had 5 touchdown passes in the win on the road against the Bears. First down at the 28. They give it to Kevin Smith. Smith, head down, gets to the 35, and a pickup of 7 with Hawthorne, the middle linebacker, right there for the Seahawks.
Lions had this game going totally their way. And then the 4th down gamble by Jim Mora. But I think Gus Bradley's defense holding the Lions to a field goal, crucial in the comeback so far of Seattle.
But then Seattle can only manage a field goal on their last possession. So 2nd and 3, and on the delay, Kevin Smith gets the first down and ridden down by David Hawthorne. As we approach the 2-minute warning, well, Hawthorne has really been on the rise for this Seattle team.
Does not mind sticking his nose in there, and you can see evidence of it, that cut on the bridge of his nose from the helmet.
The sharp contrast between the 1st and 2nd quarters when the Lions scored 17 points. Matt Hasselbeck has led Seattle along with a staunch defense, but now the Lions, with 2 minutes to play in the half, start from their 43. Rookie Aaron Brown alongside Stafford and gets the pitch. Aaron Brown gets the first down and gets into Seahawk territory, where Jordan Babineau knocks him out of bounds, but a 19-yard gain for Brown.
This play is blocked so well. Watch number 77 fill up your screen. That's Gosder Sherrillis. He never even had to block anyone to get 19 yards. Unusual for a tackle.
Brown has carried 3 times for 33 yards. From the 38, Stafford. And he overthrows Fitzsimmons, bringing up 2nd and 10, and both teams have 3 timeouts remaining.
And you notice with the Lions and a rookie quarterback, no kid gloves in a 2-minute offense with Matthew Stafford. You know, they're not limiting what they're trying to get done. Playbook wide open, and they feel that he can handle it.
Calvin Johnson to the top of your picture. Defended by Marcus Trufant. And going deep and picked off. Deion Grant with the interception, and the tackle by Brian Johnson, who was the intended receiver on the 16. So Jim Schwartz's Lions turn it over for the 2nd straight time, and the 2nd straight interception thrown by Stafford.
And look at the coverage he's throwing into, because Deion Grant is playing he's had the short zone and able to drop back deep and pick off the ball. But why wasn't there enough velocity? Look at the pressure in his face. Right there, Patrick Kearney. He tries to loft it up there and doesn't get enough on the throw.
So the Seahawks with a chance, and remember, they have all 3 timeouts remaining. And a timeout called by the Lions right before the snap.
The team's first 30-second timeout.
Well, in the last two possessions, Stafford throwing the interception to Hawthorne, and this time Deion Grant. So the turnover battle is now even at 2-2, and the question is, will the Seahawks manage to score before the end of this half?
And they have to feel comfortable with Matt Hasselbeck at the quarterback position, deep in their own territory. Again, I don't think they tucked their horns in either. They let him go ahead and try and get the ball downfield.
You were talking about the effects of the rib injury and the fact that going against the grain he was able to throw. What about the long passes?
Well, sometimes it limits you because it pulls against you as you're trying to heal up.
And again, he goes short to John Carlson, the tight end, and a couple of yards on that play, and we wind down to a minute remaining. Hasselbeck effective, changing the tempo on offense so far, and there is the slant, and it's caught by Deion Branch, and a first down out to the 29. The Hawkeyes, as they call them.
Got to take a tumble.
They spread it out with 5 receivers on first down, and the pass is caught by Burleson. Burleson gets to the 44, and another first down, and a 15-yard gain. And the hurry up working for the Seahawks. Nearly a half a minute remaining. They have 2 timeouts remaining. And this pass is incomplete, and that will stop the clock with 29 seconds. It'll be a pretty good test for Jim Schwartz's defense, and that was his specialty at Tennessee, Charles, against a savvy veteran quarterback, even though he's not 100%.
Unfortunately, he didn't get the last 2 picked off. Deion Branch made a great catch on the prior play, and that one fell into incomplete.
Second down, and here's trouble. And getting rid of it, throwing it toward the line of scrimmage. It'll be an incomplete pass as Julian Peterson nearly wrapped up Hasselbeck. And so no intentional grounding because Nate Burleson was in the area.
And Hasselbeck knew that and threw that deliberately at his feet on the ground so there couldn't be picked off, but avoided the sack.
That's the savvy quarterback.
There's experience. There's a 3-time Pro Bowler, NFL MVP at work.
Julian Peterson in a pass rushing situation from the outside on 3rd down and 10. And a pass caught by Forsett, and he breaks a tackle, gets a first down, and goes out of bounds to stop the clock. And it was William James who had him and missed him. 11 more yards, and now 19 seconds left.
So savvy can be extended to the rest of the team, can it?
Right.
Because Justin Forsett knew he needed to pick up the first down. Great job on William James, knew where the marker was, and got out of bounds and stopped the clock.
And still 2 timeouts left for Seattle. Here's Hasselbeck again going to Forsett. And he'll go out of bounds with 13 seconds remaining. And the ball just shy of the 40-yard line. So they need another healthy gain. They have enough timeouts. The clock becomes their problem.
Able to get one here. If they can get out of bounds, great. If not, they use the timeout.
Or go down the middle and call the timeout.
Exactly. They can use the whole field because of the timeout situation.
5 of 7 on the drive for Matt Hasselbeck. Boy, he's been accurate today. Goes underneath to Carlson inside the 30, and now the timeout with 6 seconds on the clock. Ball is at the 29-yard line and a penalty flag down.
Personal foul, face mask, number 31. Defense, half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
It's on
Seattle
Phillip Buchanan.
did request a timeout, but that timeout has been restored due to the foul, and the clock will start on the snap.
And Matt Hasselbeck came to the sideline. He did not want to kick the field goal here. He wanted one more shot at throwing the football downfield. Pleaded his case, denied.
All right, so Orlando Mare who is 1 for 1 with a 37-yarder. And this field goal coming up for Murray will be from 32 yards. 6 seconds to go in the half. And no play. Whistle blew before the kick.
The team's second.
So the Lions calling their second timeout in an attempt to freeze Murray. And there you see the discussion keeps going on the sidelines between Mora and Hasselbeck.
Yeah, he's saying, well, since we got another timeout, why don't we go back out there? But I think it's the right call by Jim Mora, just by what the clock is. And here's Matt Hasselbeck. No, give me one more shot. See, look where we are in field position. All right, now throw the ball here, and then our guy will catch it, and then we'll go ahead and get something done.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, right before the half, we saw Drew Brees talk Sean Payton out of going for the field goal, and they ended up getting a touchdown.
Ball was inside the 1 yard line. A little bit different here. I think this is the right call by Jim Mora because there's only 6 seconds left in the half.
So here again, the 32-yard attempt. Flags go down, and a false start penalty against the Seahawks.
False start. Number 65. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's the center, Chris Spencer.
He's playing guard here on the field goal unit.
Because Kevin Hauser was the long snapper. So now the kick will be from 37 yards. Olindo Mare's kick is good. Still 2 seconds remain in the half, and the Seahawks have now scored 13 unanswered points after the Lions took a 17-0 lead in the first. Matt Hasselbeck is saying, I still think I could have had one more play, but the way the game is going, and Jim Mora, who decided to gamble early, wasn't going to gamble late here.
You don't throw away a chance at 3 points the way his first half is gone with only 6 seconds left on the clock. If you're at 10 seconds, you might think about it because then you have the opportunity. But at 6, you don't want the clock to run out on you without a shot at points.
4 turnovers in the game. 2 by the Lions, resulting in a pair of field goals, and 2 by the Seahawks, resulting in 2 Lion touchdowns.
I don't think there's any way they kick this one deep. I think this one's got to be squibbed along the ground.
How about Hasselbeck? 21 of 25 in the game, and at one point connected on 15 in a row. And his accuracy has been tremendous after that first interception. So here's the kick. Derek Williams from the 7. And time will run out. And that will do it. Seahawks deferred when they won the toss, so they get the ball to start the third quarter. Louis Rankin. He's got speed, and it shows it. And it's Jason Hansen who knocks him out of bounds after a pretty solid return of 41 yards by Rankin. Former Washington Husky, as you pointed out, Charles, and good field position here.
And look at the block he gets early that helps spring him. Coming up to the left side, he ended up picking up some great blocking. Steve Vallis, backup offensive lineman, helped get Louis Rankin to the sideline and pick up big yardage.
So the Seahawks will start from their 44-yard line, and congrats to Rankin. Remember, Edgerrin James was released this past week, and the pass to the fullback Justin Griffith, and he is tripped up by Co Simpson after a gain of about 4. So let's look at the first half summary, where 14 points off of turnovers, giving the Lions the lead. And then when Seattle gambled on 4th and 1, they got 3 out of that. But the second quarter, totally different, thanks to the defense and Matt Hasselbeck. 2nd and 6. And Hasselbeck loses the ball. And I believe Branch recovered for Seattle. Deion Branch makes the recovery at the 46, and the first sack of the game for the Lions.
And a Gunther Cunningham special, the defensive coordinator for the Lions, dials up the pressure. First guy to get there, Jordan Dizon, backup linebacker, helps pop the ball free. And then Deion Branch alertly gets into the pile and beats everyone else to the football.
Loss of 2 on that play, bringing up 3rd and 8. Hasselbeck getting to Forsett, but bounces it to him. So it'll be 4th down. So it was a promising field position on the 41-yard kickoff return by Rankin. Turns into a quick punt.
And this is a great job by the Lions because they showed pressure the previous play and knocked the ball free. Now they show pressure and back off and only rush 4. Can't find T.J. Houshmandzadeh or any other receiver downfield.
So John Ryan punting for the first time in the game. 2nd in the NFL, and the fair catch called by Dennis Northcutt. And the Seahawk fans certainly come prepared. And we'll see how much the Seahawk defense is prepared here as the Lions get the ball for the first time in the second half. First down on the 12. Stafford's best quarter over the year has been the first quarter. Kevin Smith. And David Hawthorne coming over to make the play after a 3-yard pickup. So Kevin Smith thus far has gained 26 yards on 9 carries. That's an average of just under 3 yards a clip. Lawrence Jackson leading the crowd. Second down and 6. Stafford getting it out to Kevin Smith and ridden out of bounds at the 20, picking up 4 yards. Leroy Hill, who just returned to action last week, missed 5 games with a torn groin, and they were glad to have both Hill and Trufant return last week against Dallas. Hill leaves along with 2 other defenders, bringing up 3rd and 2.
Look at this. These are 4 defensive ends in to rush the passer on this play. They're rabbit unit on defense.
Including Tapp and Kearney. 3rd down and 2. They fake the pitch to Kevin Smith, and Stafford has had an open receiver, and it was Casey Fitzsimmons, and the ball went right past him. He was wide open for the easy first down. Couldn't make the play, and the Lions will have to punt.
Matthew Stafford on the run has Fitzsimmons, but watch where the football is. Just a little bit behind because Fitzsimmons' momentum's going to the sideline, and the ball's back behind him a little bit. A tougher catch because he's not a stationary target.
So Burleson goes back to return, and Nick Harris will punt. And this will be the first punt for the Lions. So each team punting for the first time early here in this 3rd quarter. Burleson from the 25. He's been known for long punt returns, not this time. And runs into his own man back at the 22 with Julius Jones the setback out of the eye. And here is Jones. And Jones carries it out to the 30. Larry Foote makes the tackle. And here's Hasselbeck, incomplete to Carlson. And it'll be 3rd and short coming up.
Crowd reacting, wanting a penalty flag against Co Simpson in coverage against John Carlson. You see him following, trailing inside. Yeah, got a little hook on the backside, a little hand on the front side. Might have been there a tad early. Got away with 1.
3rd down and 2. And a good catch by Houshmandzadeh for the first down. And a flag gets thrown in the process.
I don't think they got off the field, Dick. Yeah, I talk about Detroit on defense.
Right.
Too many guys.
And that's been a situation that Matt Hasselbeck has been watching all game.
12 men on defense. That penalty's been declined. Result of the play, 1st and 10, Seattle.
So they declined the penalty, and we've seen a couple of close calls earlier for the Lions. So it'll be first down at the 36. Ushmanzada. And here's Deion Branch in motion to the left. Fake one way under big rush. Julius Jones on the screen pass. First down the sideline. Jones gets tripped up. Otherwise, he would have scored a touchdown. It was Louis Delmas who made the touchdown-saving play. "49 yards.
Watch on the screen. He gets him escort out. There's Chris Spencer, 65. Then Nate Burleson, 81, behind the play. Wide receiver, the key block. All right, watch behind the play. Watch Burleson getting downfield after the screen comes. He's going to stalk the defensive back right here, and then watch the block that he delivers to help free Julius Jones. Just good positioning. Doesn't have to be a knockout block. Just position him properly, create the lane.
And Carlson had the last man blocked, and he would have scored. You'll see 89.
Burleson, right here, 89 coming right at you in your screen. He's got Buchanan, but great hustle by Delmas. Gets the heel and knocks him over.
Meanwhile, there's a Lion injured, and it's Ernie Sims back at the 42-yard line, who is up on his own power and slowly walking off. So a 49-yard play, and the Seahawks will have a first down on the 15.
Ernie Sims battling a bad shoulder for much of the year to begin with. Been a tackling machine in his years at Detroit.
And the rookie DeAndre Levy, third-round draft pick from the University of Wisconsin, will replace Sims, who really impressed Gunther Cunningham in practice this week. And they've been hoping that Sims would develop and be the monster he can be defensively.
They thought this type of defense suits him better. They describe it as see ball, get ball. You know, not a lot of thinking, not a lot of having to go into coverage responsibilities. That fits Ernie Sims better. So
changes coming on now. Deion Butler, the rookie receiver, and there's Sims. There you see him in the background.
Grabbing at the back of his leg. It's like a hamstring.
The 49-yard play, the longest in Julius Jones's career, most of it as a runner. And here is Julius Jones inside, pounding his way close to the 10. And the Seahawks looking to take their first lead of the game after falling behind 17-0 in the first quarter, turning the ball over on their first two plays from scrimmage.
And here in the third quarter, their running game most effective out of the I formation with a lead fullback.
It's Owen Schmidt who's the fullback, and they both shift now. Julius Jones going into the slot to the right. Empty backfields, second down and 5, and the pass caught by Schmidt and cannot get to the first down thanks to DeAndre Levy, who just came into the game for Ernie Sims. But it'll be third down and about 1 coming up for the Seahawks.
How about Owen Schmidt as a fullback getting out into the pass play and going up like a tight end and extending and pulling that one in.
There's Sims. So third down and 1. Ball at the 6. It's going to be a pass and trying to get it to Schmidt, and he was well covered by Larry Foote and thrown out of bounds. So fourth down coming up, and Olindo Mare will come on to try to bring the Seahawks to within 1.
Yeah, again, the crowd reacting, wanting him to go for it. Have they forgotten how 4th and 1 went earlier in the game?
Short memories. So here is Mare, who has accounted for the last 6 Seattle points with field goals from identical ranges of 37 yards. This will be a 24-yard attempt, and this kick is good. Derek Williams returning the kickoff to about the 30-yard line. And that's where the Lions go to work. So, you know, it's like a dripping effect in a bathtub, because the Lions have a 17-0 lead, and slowly the Seahawks come back. And so now, once again, you've got Matthew Stafford under the gun. And the
field position has changed from how this game started. Remember, the whole first half, it seemed, was played in Seattle's territory. Now they've changed field position. It's up to the Lions offense to get the ball moved and at least get the field tilted to help their defense.
Starting from the 30 with Maurice Morris, the running back, and the pitch going to the former Seahawk. And Morris getting tripped up by Corey Redding. So we have a lot of formers as Redding, the former Lion, makes the tackle on Morris, the former Seahawk, and they pick up 4 yards. Report on Ernie Sims is he has a hamstring injury, questionable as to his return.
And I think that Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator for the Lions, is looking at his play sheet now and thinking to himself, Calvin Johnson has just 1 catch. I have to find him, and Brandon Pettigrew hasn't caught the ball in a while either at tight end.
2nd down and 6. Stafford up the middle, and he goes to Terrell Smith. And Smith shy of the first down by a couple of yards. He gets 4 more yards. Smith starting the game at fullback with Jerome Felton down, inactive last week with a sprained ankle. And the former Arizona Cardinal bringing up 3rd down and 2. It's a 1st down to Maurice Morris at the 44, 6-yard pickup with under 8 minutes to go in the 3rd.
The trust level of Matthew Stafford is pretty high between him and his coaching staff. 3rd and 2, ordinarily with a young quarterback like that, you're trying to become a better running team. There's Scott Linehan, the offensive coordinator. You try and run the football. In this case, they put the ball in his hands to make the play for a 1st down.
And in motion goes Aaron Brown, the rookie running back. And following him out there is Hawthorne. It'll be a 1st down, and the ball knocked away, and covering it up is Stafford. And it was Patrick Kearney who knocked it out of Matthew Stafford's hand, but he recovered. It'll be a loss of 6 yards on the play with the 2nd sack of the game for the Seahawks.
Watch Kearney's 97 to the left of your screen. They switched him to left end today because they wanted a better matchup. They're trying to get him kick-started after a couple of sacks against Arizona. He struggled the last couple of weeks. On that play, great get-off and forced the fumble.
Leading his team now with 5 sacks, and 2nd and 17 upcoming for the Lions. And the frustration visible on the face of Matthew Stafford. And a penalty marker down, a delay of the game call against the Lions. Well, he's a young quarterback, but you can see he had enough of the mix-up going on. Calvin Johnson lining up to the top of your picture. Now it's 2nd and 22. Handoff to Morris. And Morris, first hit by Kearney, slowed him down. And a gain of 4 for Maurice Morris. And slow getting up is Aaron Curry. And Curry will stay in the game right now, and now it looks like he won't be able to. Aaron Curry, whose father Reggie Pinckney was a former defensive back for the Lions in the late 70s. And we'll have a timeout. Aaron Curry now on the sidelines. He's the highest drafted linebacker since LeVar Arrington by the Redskins, who was the number 2 pick in the draft in 2000. But now it'll be 3rd down and 18 for Detroit. They are 5 for 10 on 3rd down conversions, 1 a touchdown, but this a lot of yards to go here. Casey Fitzsimmons to the bottom of your picture in the slot. They need 18 yards, and they're not going to get it. And the incompletion to Fitzsimmons and covered by Josh Wilson, so it'll be 4th down. And even if he had made the catch, looked like he was heading out of bounds and would not have gotten the necessary yards.
Casey Fitzsimmons is listed as 6'4", 260. Josh Wilson, 5'9", 192. How aggressive was Josh Wilson breaking up that pass? The little guy went up and knocked it away.
Well, if Nick Harris can get it inside the 20, job well done as he kicks from the 20-yard line now. And Nate Burleson back deep. Burleson at the 15. First down at the 32 for Matt Hasselbeck and company. And his first pass is caught by Dion Butler, the rookie from Penn State. Here it's 2nd down and 2. Julius Jones will get the first down out to the 45. And a gain of 5 yards. Seahawks have gained only 34 yards on the ground so far today.
And I formation runs have been the staple in the 3rd quarter for the Seattle Seahawks. Tough, bruising inside runs that have helped, and I think the Seahawks might get flagged for too many guys at the huddle.
In the huddle.
Yeah.
5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
See, they're trying to sneak Seneca Wallace into the huddle. Maybe either go wildcat or have both quarterbacks on the field and run something a little bit out of the ordinary. And they got mixed up in their personnel groupings, and now Seneca Wallace is coming off of the field, and they're going back with their standard set.
John, wind it!
1st and 15 from the 40. Usmanzada now coming back into the slot. Hasselbeck tries to dump it off to Forsett. Unable to do so, so 2nd down coming up.
Another time today where people wanted a grounding call against Matt Hasselbeck, but he threw it close enough to where one of his own receivers was to avoid that call.
Second down and 15. Hasselbeck gets it out to Forsett. And there's the speed. Justin Forsett. Short of the first down by 3.5 yards. Cliff Averill, who has started the last 2 games, gave way to Jason Hunter, who returned to action today.
That was a good read by Justin Forsett because they wanted the screen to come to his right. But he noticed where the defenders were, playing it well, as we see Ernie Sims on the sidelines, the starting linebacker for the Lions, out with a hamstring injury.
That was the 26th completion for Hasselbeck, and that's a season's high for Matt Hasselbeck. 3rd down and 3 coming up. Into Lion territory, going up on top for Burleson, and a flag goes down, defended by William James.
Defense, number 41, cut off. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
William James appealing his cause to no avail.
Last week, this call went against Marcus Trufant of the Seahawks against the Cowboys. This week, they're the beneficiaries. But look where the ball lands beyond him. I'm really surprised I don't see the Lions waving their hand over the head saying uncatchable.
It'll be a first down on the 32, and Seneca Wallace has come in. And he is lined up as a receiver to the top. And on the pitch on the end around, Seneca Wallace looking to throw, and he completes the pass to Usmanzada. And a first down inside the 20. The crowd yelling whoosh, and a 15-yard razzle-dazzle end-around pass by Seneca Wallace, the backup quarterback, and a first down.
So he will come from the right side of your screen to the left on the toss from Hasselbeck. Great block by Ray Willis, the offensive tackle, when he doubled back to clear the way for Wallace. And then he finds Usmanzada on the crossing route, settles in against the zone, and makes a great catch.
And William James, the cornerback, who was just called for pass interference on the previous play, shaken up right there, and we'll take a timeout as we get near the 3-minute mark here in the third quarter.
All right, Seneca Wallace comes in and gets the toss, but watch the two principal characters. TJ Houshmandzadeh crossing against linebacker Larry Foote. If he stays right here, he's got it covered. Instead, he drifts a little bit too deep, and Houshmandzadeh comes underneath for the completion.
First down from the 17. Seahawks have not had the lead today. Carlson gets down to the 2-yard line on the completion. On first down, Coe Simpson on the tackle. And Anthony Henry came in to replace William James. Henry, the former Cowboy, lost his starting job.
Carlson coming inside seam, settles down, shows his numbers back to the quarterback, and completes the pass.
And on first and goal from the 2, and the pass in the corner, touchdown to Houshmandzadeh. A lot happier this week, huh?
Touchdowns tend to make you happier than incompletions. And TJ catches it, hits the goal line, and the pylon, touchdown.
And
DeAndre Levy trying to cover.
Seahawks coming back from a 17-0 deficit. Third touchdown catch of the year. And Seattle is up. And the extra point by Murray. No. Hasselbeck gets hit as he fires it. And unable to make the play in the end zone. Carlson thought he had it. That was John Ryan who threw the ball, the holder. But the extra point will not go. It was Ryan, number 9, and it'll be a 5-point lead.
Typically, when you have a fumbled snap, you have a prescribed call, fire, something that goes where it tells guys to run routes.
By number 69 and number.
See, and that's Steve Valos, number 69, the offensive lineman trying to make the catch. Doubtful he was an eligible receiver.
And number 69 is an eligible receiver.
Yep, there it is.
So the extra point fails, and the Seahawks lead now 22-17.
So right there is usually there's a call that goes out to everyone. Fire, fire. Now run your prescribed routes. Except all the guys who were open were on the backside, and John Ryan unable to plant and throw it all the way back across the field like Matt Hasselbeck. Incomplete.
Good thing it wasn't Hasselbeck who got hit with those ribs.
Exactly. Although remember earlier in the game, the first incompletion, first interception, Hasselbeck helped make the tackle.
So Houshmandzadeh with the touchdown catch, and it's a 5-point lead. First time today that the Seahawks have been in front. 2:32 to go in the third quarter. Murray kicking off to Derek Williams. And a squibber, and on a good hop picked up by Williams inside the 10. And down he goes. Lions from the 30, now trailing after leading by 17. And this pass caught by Pettigrew. And Pettigrew will get the first down out to the 42, gain of 12 for Detroit. So now what do the Lions do on the road facing adversity after that great first quarter?
I don't think there's a whole lot to change. I think they have to get back to what they did to start the ball game. Spread it around, run it when they have the opportunity, but make sure they find their leading targets. Today it's been Brandon Pettigrew at tight end, and you've got to find Calvin Johnson somehow.
Pettigrew has caught 5 passes. Aaron Brown, he lines up at the tailback position, and on the end around is Aaron Brown. And Brown's knocked back for a loss by Jordan Babineau. Good play by the Seahawk defense and a loss of 4. So Brown was split, and he came around on the end around and couldn't get untracked.
We saw that play earlier in the game, and it worked well. Watch to the right of the screen. Watch Brian Johnson. He wants to block Jordan Babineau, but he can't. It would have been a clip, so he had to let it go, and Babineau made the play.
Second down and 15. Kevin Smith back in. Stafford flips it, and very risky was Matthew Stafford trying to flip it to Kevin Smith because that was well off the mark and almost into the hands of a Seahawk defender.
He actually had the right idea. Get it to the running back and let him go with it. But he just was inaccurate with the flip. Ball was behind him.
Stafford has completed 16 of 27 for 150 yards, 2 TDs, 2 picks. So the Lions, with 2 interceptions and 2 punts, have fizzled on offense since their great start. Third down and 15. Going downfield, and it's intercepted by Hawthorne. His second interception of the game, but a flag is down at the 35-yard line. Hawthorne with his interception in Seattle territory.
Illegal formation, only 6 men on the line. Number 12 was in the backfield. That penalty will be declined. The result of the play is an interception. First and 10, Seattle.
Third interception thrown by Matthew Stafford.
Matthew Stafford on the run out of the pocket trying to find someone. Calvin Johnson cuts to the inside and Stafford's ball to the outside. Hawthorne, the beneficiary of his second interception of the day.
So now, as you see Calvin Johnson, and you talked about him, Johnson hasn't done much in this game. And Julius Jones stopped by Levy. And a loss of 3 on the play. Calvin Johnson with 1 catch for 13 yards, but now with the clock running, nearly a half a minute to go, frustration on another wide receiver on another team. He expected more today.
First game back, missed the last 2. Remember, Matt Stafford missed 2 games. They will continue to work on their timing.
Second down and 13. Pump fake and the screen to Julius Jones. And down at the 49-yard line as the clock ticks down to the end of this third quarter. A 7-yard pickup on that play. We start the fourth quarter. Seahawks leading 22-17 over the Lions, and there is a disgruntled Calvin Johnson and Matthew Stafford talking to him. I don't think Johnson wants any part of this, Charles.
We'll discuss this later.
He's been thrown out only 4 times. Third down and 6 for Seattle. Pump fake and going on top for Burleson. He keeps both feet in bounds, makes the catch. So Hasselbeck going deep and a 25-yard gain to the 27.
Matt Hasselbeck reads the blitz coming, goes max protection, and gets the one-on-one route out wide. Okay, so he sees it coming.
And there it is, and William James lost his footing a bit on the coverage. First down at the 27. Play fake. Hasselbeck gets it out to Justin Griffith. And he is wrestled out there at the 24 by William James. James was shaken up before, came out for Anthony Henry. They have worked on him today.
And remember, he replaced Anthony Henry as the starter a few games ago. Greg Knapp, the offensive coordinator, has done a nice job realizing, let's go with what works this game, not worry about so much balance.
Mixing it up and changing the tempo has been very effective as Julius Jones gets a couple of yards, stopped by Larry Foote, the middle linebacker. You know, it was amazing when the Seahawks went for it on 4th down and 1 in their own area. And you said they shouldn't do it, and that was the right decision, and they didn't make it, and you thought they were a little impatient, but since then their patience has really paid off for them.
Their defense held Detroit to a field goal, and from that moment on, things started to track upward for Seattle.
3rd down and 4. And the pass caught by Burleson, and he has the first down. Forward progress, does not get out of bounds. That was a tough catch to make with a defender right on his back, and that was Buchanan. They get 5 yards.
Oh, I can hear my defensive back coaches going crazy right now. Why? Because Philip Buchanan's got him right there. Short of the first down. You've got to put him down on that spot. But instead, Nate Burleson spins and tugs him over the first down line.
And now the ball at the 16 for the Seahawks. Looking to add to their lead quickly out to Burleson. Burleson trying to take advantage of a Houshmandzadeh block. And will settle for the 11-yard line, picking up 6.
Look at TJ Houshmandzadeh, 84. He's going to make a beeline out here to throw a block. And what a great job he does on it, because once Burleson slips it inside, TJ Houshmandzadeh dominates his man to help him gain additional yardage. See him blocking right there on William James, and it puts him down.
2nd and 4. John Carlson now split out and coming toward the line. 3 receivers to the left side. Hasselbeck goes that way, tipped and incomplete. Houshmandzadeh was the intended receiver, and DeAndre Levy, who came in for the injured Ernie Sims, tried to make a dive for the ball.
Looked like Turk McBride, defensive lineman, involved in the play. Also near, see Levy there, and you see, look at McBride. He's going to make the dive and try and get the football, unable to get it. Good job by the Lions in coverage on a tough pass, trying to slide it inside.
It was McBride who almost came up with the pick. 3rd down and 4. Quick toss caught by Carlson and does not get the yardage. We'll see where they spot the ball, and it was Coase Simpson who was a brick wall there on the tackle. Let's see where they spot the ball. That's an unofficial yellow line indicating the first down, and they're short from that angle.
Good tackling by the Lions, because Carlson caught the ball, got his shoulders square to go upfield before they gang tackled him. See, watch him turn and get upfield, but good job by Levy, James, and then some help from Simpson over the top.
They're going to measure. Seahawks, what a shock for them after losing their last game at home to the Cardinals. And now falling behind in this game, but coming back to take the lead and short by that much.
So 4th down coming, right? Kick the field goal, right? Kick the field goal. If it's 4th down, you kick it. Defense is playing well.
Go for it.
All right. That's why he's the head coach and I'm up here. See, I kick the field goal and go up 8. My defense is playing real well right now.
So it's 4th down and about a yard. Ball is at the 7.
He did tell us at the beginning, though, Dick, it's all about the Seahawks today, didn't he? All about our execution, our energy. Here's a tester.
Carlson and Owens, 2 tight ends in the lineup. And here it is. And they got what they wanted.
Amazing.
And they got it because Hasselbeck moved back from center, and they just got relaxed a little bit. But let's see if it's a false start call.
That's what the Lions are claiming, that someone jumped at the end for Seattle. Let's see how this sorts out.
It first appeared as if the defender didn't get back. And if he made contact, the same thing.
Because they did have there was movement by a Seattle offensive player after it was over.
Let's listen. Let's listen.
Neutral zone infraction on the defense. In the neutral zone, causing a reaction on the offense. Half the distance. First down.
What a
first and goal.
Masterful
Seattle.
performance there by Matt Hasselbeck.
Think about the practice time that has to go into that. That's a play specifically created for that type of a situation. Did you see how much movement and motion was involved in that? And then Landon Cohen, finally, they got the jump.
First and goal from the 3. And they spread it out here. Hasselbeck with a fade. And Houshmandzadeh covered by James. It'll be second down and goal.
Trying to throw it to the back pylon of the end zone. Nicely done by William James. Gets his hand in front and then brings it down and helps knock the ball away. It's good coverage. Just enough of a distraction to cause the incompletion.
Branch going to the right. Houshmandzadeh and Burleson to the left. And they give it to Julius Jones. And Jones gets down to about the 2. Third and goal coming up. Forsett will come into the game, the third down back, as Julius Jones goes out.
The best run plays of the half have involved a fullback. No fullback on the field now.
Hasselbeck's pass incomplete to John Carlson. And he wasn't quite at the goal line, so it'll be fourth down and goal. And a great stand by the Lions defense on the 12th play of the drive.
Think about it. They had them stopped once. You thought they might go field goal. They come up and run the play that draws them offside. And again, instead of sagging, they hung in there and forced a field goal attempt now.
Remember the last time John Ryan had problems with the snap. Here is Murray with a 20-yard field goal attempt, and the kick is good. Welcome back to Seattle, a 13-play, 54-yard scoring drive. Murray's field goal, and he has now kicked 3 in the game. 25 unanswered points, make it 4 field goals for Orlando, and a 25-17 game, but it is an 8-point margin, so it's a 1-score game right now, and that missed extra point would have made it a 2-score game, but plenty of time remaining. Nearly 5 minutes going by in the fourth, as Murray kicking off to Derek Williams. A yard in the end zone. Derek Williams. Good return, brings it out beyond the 30-yard line. Trailing by 8. Slow going since the first quarter for rookie Matthew Stafford. Kevin Smith. Good run by Kevin Smith, a first down into Seahawk territory, and tackled from behind by Leroy Hill, and a big gain on the ground of 31 yards for Smith.
This is what the Lions have been seeking all year long. Big, explosive runs from Kevin Smith, and they got one at a time they most needed it. Good job downfield by Fitzsimmons, 82. Johnson downfield trying to help, but a nice run by Kevin Smith. Longest run by a running back this year for Detroit. First down at the 38. Stafford's pass caught by Casey Fitzsimmons. And he gets to the 34-yard line, picking up 5 yards on the play. Matthew Stafford has not thrown a touchdown pass in the second half of any game this year. Looking to break that here against the Seahawks, who have 362 total yards. 2nd and 5. And look at that second half. Lions held to 56. They go to Kevin Smith again. And Smith picking up a couple. Aaron Curry over there to make the tackle. Another third down in about 3. 2 to 3 range. The last few times they put the ball in Matthew Stafford's hands rather than try to run the football.
Lions have rushed for 100 yards. See what Scott Linehan has to do here. Maurice Morris has checked in. And Morris moves out as a receiver to the right. Going left. And Fitzsimmons incomplete and did not get to the sticks to begin with. He did not even get into first down range, even had he caught the ball.
Great observation, because look where the first down marker is. You see our yellow line? He's short of that anyway. Got to run that route just a tad deeper to make sure you get to the first down marker.
So a long field goal attempt coming up for Jason Hansen of 50 yards. Looking to bring the Lions closer. And the kick is good by Jason Hansen. And welcome back to Seattle. Dick Stockton along with Charles Davis. And the Detroit Lions with only 1 win and losing to the Rams last week. And the Seahawks 2-5. And there's the scoring drive, capped by Hansen's 50-yard field goal and the 31-yard run by Kevin Smith, the big play in that drive. So it's a 5-point Seahawk lead as Hansen prepares to kick off to Rankin and Forsett deep. And it's going to be Forsett. Finds an opening. Justin Forsett. And it was Hansen along with Anthony Henry to help bring him down, but not before. The Seahawks on the kick return of 46 yards. Justin Forsett get into Detroit territory.
And what you love about a kick returner is when he sees a gap and just goes. Not a lot of shake, not a lot of wiggle. Just find the opening and sprint into it. That's exactly what Justin Forsett did.
Play action on first down, and here's Carlson, who is hit hard by Simpson. And a minimal gain on the play of 1 yard. By the way, that was the longest kickoff return of the year by the Seahawks, who now will be facing a 2nd down and 9 on the 47 of the Lions. Matt Hasselbeck was going over 300 yards for the 16th time of his career, but the first time this season. Goes down to Julius Jones, who couldn't get away. And Jones picking up 4 yards with Larry Foote making the tackle. And Jason Hunter, who was inactive the last couple of games with a sprained ankle, can't get up. First time this year, Hasselbeck has gone over 300 yards, and his 37 completions are a career high for him. It'll be 3rd down and 5 at the 43 of Detroit.
Looks like they're going to bring pressure, try and get to him.
3 receivers lined up to the left for Hasselbeck. Going up the middle, off the hands of Forsett. And 4th down coming up. So Forsett was there and would have had the first down had he held onto the ball.
And they showed the pressure and backed off of it. Dropped into coverage. And Matt Hasselbeck came to his check down guy. Forsett throws a little high and wide on him, unable to haul it in. And this is a nice series for the Lions defense. Able to stop them after the big kickoff return.
Northcutt goes back, and that was a tough pass to handle.
Yeah, a little bit high and wide on him.
John Ryan will punt. Fair catch called for by Northcutt at the 11-yard line. First down from the 11. Hand off to Smith. Kevin Smith, who had the big 31-yard run that set up that last field goal, gets 6 yards on first down.
See, the defense has set them up now. Field position not great, but they're only down 5. Clock ticking inside of 6.5. Doesn't mean they'd have to get out of what they want to do offensively at this stage of the game. Don't have to change your personality yet.
Kevin Smith averaging 5.5 yards a clip, 66 yards in the game. 2nd down and 4. Up the middle, and it's Pettigrew, the tight end, and his forward progress will be enough for the 1st down for the Lions, as we have now 6 minutes remaining in regulation. Gain of about 5.5 on the play.
And we're seeing Matt Stafford continue to learn how to play the quarterback position in the NFL. He's had a few downers since a great opening. But we're also seeing another young rookie, Brandon Pettigrew, up his game in this outing.
And Smith coming back from the bruised shoulder, suffered last week. Smith can't go anywhere, changes direction. All right, thank you very much, Chris. Patrick Kearney coming to the bench. 2nd down and 9. 12th man a factor right now. The crowd. Slant pass, incomplete. Intended for Calvin Johnson. That's the 5th time they have gone to Calvin Johnson, who has just 1 catch, and good coverage by Josh Wilson. Got physical there with Johnson.
And with Marcus Trufant back, many thought that Josh Wilson would go to the bench and Ken Lucas would start today. But Wilson got the start in part because of plays like we've seen today. Very aggressive when making plays on the football.
3rd down and 9. Pressure up the middle. Stafford going deep, and the pass is intercepted. Marcus Trufant. Calvin Johnson downfield, and it's Trufant with the interception.
Trying to run the vertical route with Calvin Johnson, but the ball doesn't get there to where he can really make a great play on it. A little bit short, and Marcus Trufant in position picks it off. See, with Calvin Johnson, you got to throw it up and out to give that big guy a chance to go over the top.
And that is the 4th interception of the game thrown by Stafford. And the Seahawks, in picking up 4, they had only 3 interceptions coming into this game. And now the Seahawks get the ball back. Julius Jones running, and a flag goes down. And that normally indicates holding thrown by the umpire.
Holding. Number 67. Offense. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
And it's the left guard, Rod Sims. So there is the rookie, and 4 picks today.
And they always tell you on deep balls, don't overthrow them. But you can't underthrow them so much that your receiver can't make a good play on it. In that situation, it was underthrown just enough that Calvin Johnson couldn't get back and be the primary guy to go up and fight for the football. And Trufant came up with it. What a difference a week makes for Marcus Trufant, huh?
On the previous 5 turnovers, teams have capitalized. See what happens with the Seahawks here. Julius Jones with a great run. And Jones gets it out to the 41-yard line, picking up 11. Coe Simpson making the tackle. So how much did the Seahawks need Trufant to come back for the 1st time last week?
Oh, they needed him in a big way because of what the depth on the corner. They needed a former Pro Bowl player to play at his best. Knocked the rust off last week with a tough game at Dallas, and has played much, much better today.
Louis Delmas, who has an interception today. Shaken up. We have had several players who have been injured. Ernie Sims did not come back. Delmas here. Curry got hurt for Seattle, and he did come back, and we saw Hunter a little while ago. And Kearney came out as well.
It's been a hard-hitting affair today.
Matt Hasselbeck, who has completed 37 of 49 attempts. His team has been able to run, Charles, for only 45 yards. You can't just say, well, they were behind. They were behind in the 1st quarter, and they came back to make it, pretty much of a close game by halftime when they were down by 4 as Delmas limping off the field, replaced by Marquand Manuel.
I really think they felt like Matt Hasselbeck got into such a groove that they didn't want to force feed the run game at that point. Let the guy spread the ball around, and the way he was throwing short passes, and in a sense, an extension of their run game, but they go down as pass plays.
6 different Seattle receivers have between 5 or 6 catches. Going to him for more than just one. Hasselbeck takes off, and always a risk with the rib injury, and he is down at the 47-yard line, about 4 yards or so shy of the first down, and the clock stops with under 4 minutes remaining. And a timeout called by the Lions following the timeout by Detroit. Hasselbeck completes to Deion Branch. First down into Lion territory at the 47, gaining 6 yards.
This is where Deion Branch is especially effective. Find him running the short crossing routes, the shallow crosses. Just hide him over here and watch him come underneath, and Matt Hasselbeck finds him. Picks up enough yards for the first down.
And another timeout called by the Lions as you see Branch with the reception. And with 3:46 to go, it doesn't look like the Seahawks are content with running the ball, and that's what you pointed out. That hasn't been their style today.
They felt much more comfortable with Matt Hasselbeck directing everything with the ball in his hands rather than trying to run it.
Julius Jones. And ridden back, and the whistle finally blows. That was Landon Cohen, who's scheduled to make his 4th start this year. Joe Cohen, who was activated off the practice squad on Saturday. So the Lions stop the clock again, down by 5. Want to get the ball back. The Arizona Cardinals, we told you, defeated the Bears today with 4 minutes left in San Francisco. The Tennessee Titans lead the 49ers 24-20. Oddly enough, despite the 2-5 record, the Seahawks very much in the race in what has been the worst division record-wise in the league. But if you win the NFC West, you make the playoffs and you have home field advantage in the first round.
And remember, if they're able to close this one out, they go to Arizona next week with a chance to make it a 1-game lead for Arizona in the West.
Yes. Second down and 10. No timeouts remaining for the Lions. Here's Julius Jones. So the Lions can't stop the clock. And it'll be 3rd down coming up with Manuel making the stop. There you see, as we mentioned, the 49ers trailing. And the Seahawks can come within 1 game of the 49ers, who play the Bears next Thursday. And Arizona winning today, they already beat the Seahawks here a couple of weeks ago. But it's a tight race in the NFC West.
And Arizona already has a win over Seattle. So it's a crucial game if Seattle wins today, going to Arizona next week.
50% on 3rd down conversions for Seattle. This pass won't be a first down, but it's caught by Burleson at the 40s. So 4th down coming up with 2:47 on the clock. And the Lions will get the ball back. You wonder what's going through the minds of Matthew Stafford, or mind, I should say. He only has 1, and that's all you need. After throwing 2 touchdown passes, 4 picks since then.
Yeah, and here's the thing. This is why Jim Schwartz used the timeouts on defense. He felt like if they got the ball back, remember, there's other ways to stop the clock on offense. Get out of bounds, get your incompletions to kill the clock, all those things. So, hey, if you don't have timeouts, much easier to have them when you're on offense than when you're worried about trying to stop it on defense.
John Ryan will be punting it. Dennis Northcutt will let it drop, and it will be down at around the 6-yard line. .203 to go. So alert play by the Seahawks, not so much for the Lions, who have 95 yards to go With 2:03 on the clock and no timeouts left, they need a touchdown.
Although they do get one because they have the 2-minute warning coming up. They'll get a play and then the 2-minute warning.
Starting from the 5. In the end zone. And going for Calvin Johnson. 2-minute warning with 1:57 on the clock. Lions, no timeouts left. 2nd and 10 from the 5. Trailing by 5. Stafford pass, and they call it a catch to Casey Fitzsimmons. Bobbled the ball but held on. Short of the first down, but the clock is the big factor. 3rd and 4. And they've got to go for it on 4th down if they don't do it here. And Fitzsimmons makes the reception for the first down to the 19. And they've got to line up in a hurry. One catch for Calvin Johnson, who returned to action after missing a couple of games. Been thrown to only 6 times. Another reception by the tight end, Brandon Pettigrew. And the first down out to the 33-yard line. Pettigrew with his 7th catch of the game. They got 13 on that play. And they clocked the ball, and 56 seconds left. Matthew Stafford and the Lions have to go the distance. They need the touchdown, the only way they can pull this game out. We'll see how the Seahawks defend them, whether they put on some pressure or just play prevent.
I doubt that they'll just play prevent. That's kind of gone by the boards in most cases. What they're doing now, though, they're trying to balance things up. Wide receiver, tight end in the slot, tight end backside, Calvin Johnson down here.
3-man rush on 2nd and 10. And the pass, does he hold on? Yes, it's a catch by Calvin Johnson, only his 2nd of the game. And another first down, shy of midfield. 40 seconds remaining, and they stop it again.
Nice combination route they ran with Calvin Johnson and Brandon Pettigrew. Pettigrew just kind of going here, and Johnson coming right to the inside. And he makes an excellent catch on a ball thrown behind him. His momentum going to the middle of the field.
They're at the 47-yard line. Calvin Johnson lining up at the top. 2nd down and 10. Seahawks by 5, trying to hold on. Pass is tipped incomplete. Intended downfield. David Hawthorne got a hand on it, and it was intended for Calvin Johnson.
But Brandon Pettigrew is in the same area. So you got 3. See, look at this. Pettigrew and Johnson are right there. That attracts 3 Seahawks. Makes it a very tough pass to complete.
Somebody ran the wrong route. 3rd and 10.
Your best idea is to try and isolate Calvin Johnson and give him room to work. He's in the slot this time with Bryant Johnson up top.
They have 2 downs to get 10 yards. No timeouts remaining. They fake the handoff, and this pass is intercepted by Josh Wilson down the sideline. Wilson will score. Touchdown. Josh Wilson with a 61-yard interception and return for a touchdown. Matthew Stafford throwing 5 interceptions. And the Seahawks will wrap this one up, leading 31-20 with 22 seconds left. Olindo Mare on to add the 32nd point. And the Seahawks headed for their third victory of the year, breaking a 2-game losing streak. And they had to come from 17 points down in the first quarter to do it. And tough day for the rookie.
Matthew Stafford definitely wants to find Calvin Johnson on this play. Stays with him the whole way, except Calvin's working inside and Matthew's throwing the ball to the outside. See, watch, Johnson's working in this area. Watch where the ball's thrown. Josh Wilson in position, carries it back to the house.
Second time he has returned an interception for a touchdown, 61 yards. So on a day in which the Seahawks came in with only 3 interceptions, they pick off 5 today, 2 by the middle linebacker, David Hawthorne. And a tough day for Matthew Stafford. And in talking with Jim Schwartz yesterday, we asked him, how do you measure this season from here on to the end? He says, you can say what you want about making things close, having a lead. It's all wins and losses. Bill Parcells said, you are what your record says it is.
Yeah, the rest of it's just happy talk, as Coach Schwartz said. But don't think for a second he's going to back off on the idea of Matthew Stafford continuing to be his quarterback.
No, he decided, and he took a little gamble by going with him with a team that had not yet won, but he thought he was ready to do it. Derek Williams inside the 5. And hit from behind and down at the 30-yard line. And there you see Pettigrew and Owen Schmidt apparently going at it in midfield. And it's frustrating for this Lion team and for their fans who have really had to endure so many years. This will be their 30th loss in 32 games.
It's very difficult, and remember, this was a game they start out 17-0 to the good. Matthew Stafford was looking terrific at that point. Looked like he was throwing 7-on-7. Ball wasn't hitting the ground at all. And things turned around on them, and they absorbed another loss. But I do believe they're making progress.
I know.
I really do.
You know, you're right, and this team played hard, but, you know, the Detroit fans have known nothing but really misery for such a long time, that they will have lost their 23rd of the last 24 games. That will be the last play of the game. Thanks to our producer, Fran Morrison, who's done a terrific job leading this group. Artie Kempner, our director. Wayne Wilson on the staff. Great job he's done, and we'll miss him as he moves along. And that's the end of the game.